Hello. Happy Halloween and all that. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. How are you all? Haven't seen you for so long. It's been a month. How are we all? Are we all feeling blessed? So we're in heaven. Let's open our eyes. We're in heaven. Let's breathe in for 4. Out for 6. In for 4. Out for 6. We're in heaven. We don't know what's ahead. We can't change the past. All we've got to do is live in the moment. Today is the best day of your life because you've got no idea what else is ahead. So always positivity and purpose, because that's really, really important in the weight loss journey. Then we won't use food for the wrong reasons. So thank you for joining me. Hello, hello, hello. Look at you all joining. I haven't seen you all for ages. Thank you all for joining me. So it's dark, miserable outside. So let's talk about what we want to talk about, which is our understanding our body type, and of course, which exercise we should do because of our body type. As you know from my Instagrams, I've rejoined the gym. I've not been for about 20 years because you need to spice it up, change it up, mix it up. And I'm in these classes and I'm looking at people in front of me doing all the wrong movements for their body type. I'm looking at ladies in front of me with thighs they probably don't want to grow, and they are doing every exercise that will bulk them. And I'm looking at gentlemen in front of me who are maybe too scrawny, who are doing all the wrong exercise that's going to make them even scrawnier, and they're not going to develop muscle, which is maybe what they're after. So it's reminded me, I'm desperate to help all these people who can't in the gym. I can't go out and say, by the way, so I don't. But it's reminded me, you've really got to get it right, especially as you get older. You can kind of bluff it in your 30s, but anything beyond that, you really don't want to be doing the wrong exercise for your body type, because they're going to get the wrong results. You can actually bulk yourself, grow yourself. A lot of my clients are bulkier than they want to be because they've been doing the wrong exercise. It's the exercise fault, not your fault. It's the exercise's fault. So let's discuss what the 3 body types are. There's no denying there are 3 body types. There's a bit of an argument about their personality, but in fact there's a lot of research saying you can tell from the personality too, and I believe that because I know what everybody is when I meet them. From the phone, I don't need to see them. From the phone, I know what my clients are on the phone before I even started Zooming with them. So there are 3 set body types, but nobody is a classic example of 100% one. So you've got Mesomorph, Endomorph, Ectomorph. No human really is like 100% of one. It's almost impossible. You could be 3 mixed together, 3 types mixed together, 2 types mixed together. Nobody's just one. Everybody's a bit of a mix. But there are some generic traits that you can analyze yourself, that you can work out what you are, and therefore you can start doing the right exercise for your body type to get the right results, because that really, really matters. It's so annoying doing exercise that gives you the wrong results, and that seems to be happening with more and more of my clients. They've been doing the wrong exercise, and I have to undo what they've been doing and get them doing it right, and then we get incredible results. So hope you're all really well, and let's begin. So I'm Pippa Hill. I'm the #1 weight loss coach in London and the UK, so I do know what I'm talking about. 45,000 hours of experience. I do know what I'm talking about. So don't worry, just tune in, and I hope I can give you lots of advice. All right, and you're going to benefit from this because you're going to learn, if you don't already know, what you need to do for your body type. Okay, so 3 body types: Endomorph, Ectomorph, Mesomorph. So Mesomorph, they have more defined muscle. They're often rectangular shaped. They have a normal metabolism, whereas you've got your Endomorph, they have a slower metabolism. They tend to be slightly more squat, slightly more square and squat. And Ectomorph, they have a faster metabolism. They tend to be longer, leaner limbed, and they don't tend to muscle up very easily. That's kind of generic. Now let's get into a bit more detail. So with your metabolism, as I said, a Mesomorph has a normal metabolism, an Ectomorph, it's quicker, and an Endomorph, it's a bit slower. So it's very simple. If you're one of those people that tends to put on weight very easily, tends to put on fat and muscle, then you're going to be an Endomorph. Predominantly, you might be 80 Esomorph, 20 Mesomorph, yeah? So if you tend to put on fat and muscle quite easily, then you're an endomorph. You do have more muscles, endomorph have more muscles, but it's not so defined. And mesomorph, you think they're more muscly because they're more defined. But an endomorph, you tend to be a bit shorter, squatter. Now, personality-wise, an endomorph is always quite popular. They're always the one at the end of the table eating and drinking. They're the nice person. They don't like being criticised, but they're popular and they're the jolly clown at the end of the table. They're nice people. And anyway, so they tend to be a bit shorter and squatter. They tend to put on fat and muscle quite easily. They have more muscle, as I said, than the other two. And they tend to put on fat. So we'll talk about what exercise they need to do. But if you know anyone who's like that, who literally just puts on weight just by looking at food, they're probably an endomorph. Yeah, and they're not putting on muscle, they're putting on weight. And they can put on weight, fat quite easily. And they're jolly. And they tend to be the ones that are slightly larger than the other two types. Then you've got mesomorph. Now, it's not that they have more muscles, it's that they have more defined. They muscle up more easily. If you're going to be a bodybuilder, you would be a mesomorph. They can put on weight and lose weight very quickly. Personality type, they win. I'm going to win. Sort of people, yeah, triangular, so broader shoulders, narrower here. Okay, so let me give you an example story I should have for endo. So for endomorph, it would be Beyonce or who else did I write down? J-Lo, they're classic, yeah. Or Boris Johnson, yeah, endomorph. Or I'm not a fan. Or who are the other ones I wrote down? Ed Sheeran and Robert Downey Jr. They're all endomorphs, so they can prone to put on weight. They're kind of relaxed, easygoing people, popular, but they tend to put on weight. Mesomorph would be Madonna. Mark Wahlberg would be a classic example. Yeah, really defined muscle. Anyone who can get muscled up quite easily. Who's the other one I wrote down? Halle Berry. Yeah, so people who look quite muscly quite quickly. They have a normal metabolism, yeah, whereas the endo is slower and the ecto is quicker. And strong personality type, they like to win. And they muscle up quite easly. And what else can I say about them? They have the endo is sort of shorter and squatter. The meso is not as long and lean limbs as the ecto, so they're sort of similar, but they tend to muscle up much more easily than the endo. So if you're one of those people who can just look at a squat and a lunge and put on weight, muscle up, yeah, then you're a meso, and that's what you've got to be careful of, because if you've got a body part that's larger than you want it to be, and you tend to work it a lot, then it will grow in response, because you're one of those people that will muscle up quite easily. And surprise, surprise, when we want lots of skeletal muscle, let's talk about the difference. Lots of skeletal muscle makes you lean and sinewy. Lots of skeletal muscle mass is your heart muscle, your brain muscle, and it can be a mass. So when we talk muscle, think skeletal muscle, more than muscle mass, skeletal muscle, that's what we're aiming for. So we want to really work on that. And a meso can actually mass up more than they want. So particularly women. So we've got to be very careful of that. Undo, some women have very high layers of built up thighs, etc. Maybe their arms are bigger than they want. So that could be a mesomorph, someone who bulks up easily. Then you've got the ectomorph. They tend to have longer limbs and they have a slightly faster metabolism. Ectomorphs actually find it quite hard to put on weight. So examples would be Cameron Diaz. Who else? Brad Pitt, Bradley Cooper. Yep, they actually find it quite hard. They're long and lean. They're slightly nervier people. They're not the kind of easy, jolly going endo. They're not, they're not the meso. They're slightly more nervy. They're the thinker. They put on. It's quite hard to put on any weight. It's quite hard to put on muscle. Actually, they're often a bit lean. Those kind of men and women you think of are just literally lean stick pins. Those are the ectos, and their metabolism works faster, and they will be leaner. So again, body type, you can think about jobs. A lot of ectos the leaner ones end up fitness people. Yeah, a lot of mesos end up bodybuilders, and a lot of endos don't. So, yeah, so there's a clue. So if you are overweight, it's often maybe you could be 80 endo, 20 meso, which means you've got the double whammy of easily putting on weight, but also quite easily bulking up. So we'll have a conversation about that. Okay, so those are the three. Hope that helps describe it. Which one are you? Have a think about it. Nobody's 100%. Nobody's 100%. But just think how your body type is, your shape. Are you rectangular? Are you shorter and squatter? Are you longer and leaner? Yeah. Do you find it very hard to put weight on and hard to put muscle on? Do you put on muscle really quite easily without even trying very hard? Or do you just tend to put on weight and it's difficult, you can muscle up and put on weight really easily, and it's difficult to shift. Whereas meso, they can put on and lose quickly. Endo, it goes on and it tends to stay there. Ecto, it doesn't go on in the first place. That's maybe the easiest way to think about it. So I hope that helps explain it. So once we know what we are, I know it sounds crazy, but it will really, really help with your exercise, obviously. So we'll start with the endo. The endo, you really don't want to be building calories. You really don't want to be building bulk. So you'll be doing a lot of cardio. You really want to work your cardio, so you're always burning calories. You're giving yourself the opportunity to burn calories and hit high interval intensity training, which is again to burn calories, but you should also be doing a lot of resistance because you want to tone up as well. Yeah, not bulk ups. We're not doing hypertrophy. We're not lifting. I always say this: if you lift like 4 weights and then rest for a while, or lift like do 8 reps of a weight and then rest for a while, it's called hypertrophy. It means you're lifting a weight that's heavier than you can work with, and therefore you're ripping the little fibers on your muscles. And when you rest, as you know, we only get stronger when we rest. That's why when we sleep is when it all happens. But when you rest, that develops and that builds. So if you want to bulk up, you want to be lifting a weight that's too heavy for you to lift, let's say even 4, that'd be pretty extreme, yeah, or 8 or something. And when you're really struggling, woof, put it down, and then you wait quite a long time, and that's your recovery period, and that's when you heal, the muscles heal, they bulk up, and you can get bigger. That's very different from metabolic resistance. Metabolic resistance, we don't do that. We do 12 reps of anything we can do 12 of. If we can do 14, the weight's too light. If you can only do 8, your hypertrophy, we're not doing that. Let's say 12 is the magic number. If you can do 12 of something, the 12 should be quite painful, but then we don't have a rest, we do it again, and then we don't have a rest, we do it again. So metabolic resistance is low reps, high reps, low weights. High reps, low weights, constant pain. Rather than just lifting 4, pain and waiting, we're just in constant pain, lots of pain, lots of gain, my mantra. So anyway, we don't want to be doing hypertrophy if you're a meso. Endo, again, we want to be doing metabolic resistance, so you want to be getting leaner, not bulking. Yep, so you want to be doing strength, but the right kind, not hypertrophy, not bulking. You want to be doing the right kind of strength. So an endo should be doing everything. I'm afraid you've got to throw everything at it because you do tend to put on weight easily and you like food. So you want to be doing your cardio, so you've got the ability to burn, but your resistance, which gets your skeletal muscle up, which raises your metabolism, which enables you it's not actually burning, you're not burned, but it enables your muscles to be utilized so that when the units of energy, calories, come at you, the muscles can utilize that energy and you can lose weight. So endo, you want to be doing your cardio and your strength, but not hypertrophy strength, metabolic resistance strength, okay? As often as you can, because it's hard work, isn't endo? No one's 100%, no, don't worry about it. Okay, and you can change, you're given that, but you can raise your skeletal muscle and improve your situation. It's not like a life sentence, and you can make the best of what you are. Of course you can, always. Endo. Meso can bulk up quite easily. As I said, broad shoulders, narrow waist. So, Mark Wahlberg. So, they might want to think about never doing, it depends male or female. If you want to bulk up, then great, do lots of hypertrophy and you could be a bodybuilder. But if you're someone who doesn't want to be too bulky, then think about it. Do the cardio, because that's going to burn the fat, and do some HIIT, but be very careful about doing hypertrophy because again, you can bulk up. Now, endomorphs actually have more muscle. Mesomorph is just more defined. So endomorphs, just be careful because you can bulk, but mesomorph, the bulk will show. So again, think about what resistance you're doing. You need to keep it low weights, high reps. So you're doing metabolic resistance, so you're constantly burning to make you leaner rather than hypertrophy, which, unless you want to, will actually bulk you up. And if you're a meso, you could tend to bulk up quite easily. So if you don't want to look bulky, just be very careful. A lot of my female clients have a certain part of their anatomy bigger than they want. And if you're doing a huge amount of kind of heavy squats and lunges, of course you're growing them. Anything you use a lot of, they will grow in response. That's their job. We are an animal. So just be aware of that. Be very, very aware of that. Okay, then you get to ecto. And they obviously are slightly the opposite, aren't they? They find it hard to put on weight. So if you're an ecto, if you're one of those lean bean people, then you want to be thinking, we want to do a lot of resistance and maybe even hypertrophy, because you actually want to put on lean muscle. Yeah, you actually want to, maybe you want to bulk, maybe you're just too lean. So hypertrophy works for you. That's when you're lifting just a few weights and wait and rest. Yeah, you can actually do hypertrophy and do a lot and do resistance because you want to put on muscle, because ectomorphs find it quite hard to put muscle on. They can be, they can actually get too thin, and you always need muscle. All of us, 650 muscles, skeletal muscle. We all need muscle. We all need muscle. That's the way we're made. I would say you've only got a pelvic floor and a spinal bone. The rest is muscle holding us up. It's everything. It's so important. An animal in the wild does 10 hours a day. What are we doing that we hardly do any? So we all got to have muscle, but there's a difference between bulk and lean. And ectomorphs have very lean muscles. Endomorphs and mesomorphs have larger muscles. So, and as I said, actually an endo has more muscles. But an ectomorph has lean muscles, so they always look lean. So maybe they want to do some hypertrophy to get a bit more bulk on them, and therefore probably a bit less cardio because they don't necessarily want to be losing weight. Maybe they actually want to do heavy weights to actually gain a bit of shape. So you see 3 very different body types and 3 very different approaches to what they should do. Now, a lot of people diss it, but I'm afraid I've done 45,000 hours. I know what I'm talking about. And it really matters to have that knowledge to do the right exercise for your body type, because you can literally create anything. You have this genetic body, but you can make the best of it and reduce the worst of it, and anybody can look amazing. So what we're saying here, all of these people look amazing. Wallerberg is a meso, and so is Jessica Alba and Halle Berry. They all look gorgeous. Yeah, endos, Beyonce and Ed Sheeran and J-Lo and Robert Downey Jr. They're all gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Ectomorphs, Cameron Diaz, Bradley Cooper. They're all gorgeous. So everybody's gorgeous. But we can make better of ourselves. We don't have to say, well, that's what I am and I'm just going to be it, because we can always work it. No matter what our age. So I hope that's helpful. Now, as I do these in my one-to-ones, I analyse people's body shape. It might be a good idea to get in touch so I can analyse you, because you might be 33 and a third, 33 and a third, 33 and a third. Then it's quite tricky, isn't it? I'd say most of my clients predominantly are 80% endo, 20 meso. But again, I just do, some of my clients just want health. It's not about weight loss, it's about health. So, and I've got many ectos as well, because this is about healthy eating to lower your visceral fat. So remember, we've really been talking about external appearances there, haven't we? But you've got your visceral fat too, that's the fat inside you. And that, anybody, even somebody who looks externally tiny, can have high visceral fat. That's something we can't see, as they say. I'm not going to use any of those horrible mantras they use, but it's about health. What I do is about health. So it's not about aesthetics. So it doesn't matter what build you are, what body type you are, we can always get healthier. We can always be doing better exercise at the right time of day, because that's so important. The right exercise and eating right and getting our relationship with food right and everything else. So that's what I do. But I also do analyse your body type, and I'll give you what you want to know about what you should be doing for your body type. So I hope you find that helpful. So I'll leave this on my Instagram for a while so you can see it at any time. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited that Christmas is coming. I love this time of year. It's my favourite time of year because it's just sort of snuggly and love it. Do watch my Instagram. and I'm just doing it to help give you tips. I'm here to help. So click on my bio if you want to have further chats about body type and what exercise you should be doing for your body type. But I hope that was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you. I'm going to do one of these a month, and I love it. Please join me, and lovely to see you. Thank you for coming. Let's breathe. Oof. This is heaven. We don't know what's ahead, so we just got to think about this moment, and this moment is the best moment of our lives. Live in the moment. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you very soon.